Greetings, Actives, and welcome to the May Founders Call. We are excited to be here with you. I had to think for a second, what month were we in, David? And for all of you who are new joining us, David and I do this every single month on the 15th of the month. We love to talk a little bit about where we've been and where we're going. So we're going to share with you some of the highlights from last month, but hope that you are all doing very well. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. This is, in Mexico, which is the first market we launched, our biggest market. You kind of celebrate Mother's Day all month, and for us, I know we're getting ready to celebrate it, or actually, we celebrated it yesterday on Sunday, didn't we? So I hope you all did something great for the mothers and really the women in your life. I like to do something for my daughters because I look at them as future moms and grandmas and great grandmas, and it really brings perspective to life. So anyways, happy Mother's Day to everybody. Hope you had a wonderful Mother's Day. And obviously David and I are here as always. And I think I'm gonna pass the baton over to you, David. David, for those of you who don't know, actually, before I pass that baton, David, we were able to get together this last week and the week before, and it was really kind of fun getting together as a member of the board of managers, actually, for the company, along with Randy Haig, who has been very instrumental in raising money for the company from the very beginning. And we met along with our in-house counsel, Time and Marshall, and we really got to step back and look at everything in the company, how we've the challenges that we faced, whether it was raising money or overcoming, the challenges associated with the pandemic, and really where we are now in really starting to catch our stride and really grow. And I can just say this, it goes without saying that not only are so many of you, our distributors, having huge success right now and reaching your goals and ranks and earning more than you've ever earned before, but our investors are also going to be very happy and I think are breathing a deep sigh of relief to know that the toughest days are behind us. And as a company, we survived, and now we're starting to thrive. So if all of you could have been a fly on the wall a couple weeks ago as we met together, I think you would have been proud of ACTIVZ, because we're certainly proud of ACTIVZ, and we're proud of all of you and all of your commitment for really getting us to this point. And now we're in the month of May. We're having an unprecedented month in terms of our growth. And I sound a little bit like a broken record, David, because we keep saying that like the last 5 or 6 months, but it's true. So I'm going to throw this over to you and let us know what you're seeing right now and how you feel about what we've just kind of gone through and what you see on the horizon.
Well, thanks, Ryan. Hello, everybody. It's great to be with you here halfway through the month of May. It's hard to believe. As Ryan mentioned, April was a spectacular month for a lot of reasons, not least of which was that we were able to go and have a great incentive trip with many who are on this call and who will later be on our Spanish call in Cancun. I'm still a little bit of a different hue because of the sun in Cancun, but we had a great time out there, and looking forward to seeing everyone on the next one. In fact, you can look forward next month to an announcement. I'm really excited, Ryan. I'm always excited about this, but people are really going to be blown away when they hear about what the next incentive trip is going to be. So everybody get ready to just run for it, do whatever you can to be there. Because as we often talk about, these promotions, whether it be the Momentum Escape trips, which is also getting unparalleled, just unbelievable participation. It's great, Ryan, when we budget for a certain amount and we try to, put our finger in the wind and say, okay, how many do we think are going to qualify for this? And, a third of the way through the month, we've already hit that number. So we got to kind of readjust. Okay, now how many do we think we're going to do? And now halfway through the month, okay, we got to readjust again because people are just running for this, and that's great. And as fun as those trips are, as great as any promotion is that we do, the underlying reason that we do any of it is to help all of you build your business, so that after the fun in the sun is over, after the extra product that you got in your pack is consumed, after the swag that you received is worn out, your business is still solid and providing revenue for you and your family month after month because of what you did to qualify for the incentive. And that's what it's all about. And so I'm excited about that. As we look back, you mentioned our board of managers or board of directors meeting that we had last week. It really is great to sit back, and reflect upon where we came from. We got together, as everyone knows, to create something different, different in the sense of unique, scientifically validated products that had an epigenetic effect on us to help us reach our full, genetic potential. And we did that. We had the products, we introduced it. We wanted to make a difference in terms of the omni-channel approach so that we could meet people where we find them. We wanted to make a difference even in terms of our comp plan and how we can reward people, especially in the middle classes, so that everyone, and you can rise to the level that you want to rise to and still, achieve your goals, and not just everybody's at the top and nobody else makes any money. And we've achieved that as well. And in fact, it's really paying off. I want to, you're way too humble to mention this, but Ryan was quoted in the recent version of the Direct Selling News when they were interviewing companies that had a double-digit growth over the past 3 years. And I can tell you, there weren't many companies listed, but we were one of them. And it was great to be part of that article and to know that ACTIVZ is represented. And it still reminds me of that old movie Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, where they're being chased by the posse, and they look back and say, "Who are those guys?" And there's a lot of companies now looking over their shoulders. People are saying, "Who are those guys?" And they're finding out more and more about ACTIVZ. And so, where are we going in the future? Well, we're going to go revisit the same place that we started from, and that is to have products that make a real difference. We've got new products on the horizon. There's going to be fun things that we're going to announce just in the next couple of months that are going to be very exciting for people, and new ways to build your business. And it's just, I don't know. Sorry, I'm taking more time than I expected to, but it's just an exciting time to be part of ACTIVZ.
Yeah, I agree, and I'm excited. I'm ready to sign up again, David, just hearing you talk about that. But I like what you said, and I think you hit on something important, that we're going back to where we started, really. We're now starting our 6th year, but we founded this company to be different, right? And to really bring something of high value into the marketplace and not do something that everyone else is doing. And it was interesting because I feel like in listening to you, I kind of, my mind just started to run, because I can remember early on, and you'll remember this, and for those of you watching this, it'd be fun for you to know that a lot of people told us it wasn't going to work, because we were talking about doing something as an omni-channel company with formulators and scientists that we'd worked with before, right? Years earlier, that we'd launched a company before, and at least the first formula, I should say. And there were a lot of people who were reluctant and reticent, feeling like, you know what, you've already done that. You've already ridden that pony before, even though the product may be 10 times more potent and the technology and the science is significantly more efficacious. The story's already been told, right? And sometimes it's tough to hear comments like that and cause you to doubt yourself and doubt your own convictions. But David, I remember you and I and the others that were with us in those early days really doubling down on our commitment and really saying, no, we're going to take this to the top, right? We're going to go the distance with this, because A, it's real science, and B, it's emerging technology. It's a new technology in the terms of epigenetics, right? And no one really knows about that. And deciding to put our stake in the sand and saying, this is what we own as a company, right? And with this, we're going to build a company. And so when you talk about kind of going back to our roots and remembering what we, sort of philosophically why we started this, I'm inspired, when I think about that, and it also inspires me, and I think I speak for you and the team, that we're going to always double down on what makes us unique and different, and really bet on what we know is the future of wellness and the future of medicine, if that's how you want to look at it. And today, I'd say the wind is at our back, for lack of a better analogy. We've made it through our first 5 years. There's a lot of saber rattling in the beginning from other companies and competitors who didn't want us to see the light of day. Then we were hit by the pandemic, and there's all of, and we launched in Mexico, which, was not easy. It wasn't like having launched at the US. And I look at the challenges, and I am just amazed that we are where we are, doing as well as we are. David, I think I mentioned to you not too long ago that I was on a Zoom with the distributor leader from another company, right? That was sort of a contact of one of our great pioneering distributors. And she started to talk about her company, and she was talking about how great they were. And they're like a 30, 40-year-old company now. And while we were talking, I started to look up this other company, and I looked at their published revenue. And I looked at their first year, their second year, their third, fourth, fifth year, sixth year, and I'm like, oh my goodness. And I didn't blurt this out because I didn't want to interrupt her speech she was giving me. But I was comparing that to this company, who I'm not going to name its name, but I think most people would recognize them. And I said, wow, we are tracking ahead of where that company is. That company today is a billion-dollar company, or a couple $1 billion a year. And she just, thinks it's the cat's meow. She obviously joined that company probably 40 years after it launched. And then when it's my turn to talk, I shared with her, I said, well, you may be surprised to know that, we're actually tracking in terms of our revenue ahead of that company. And we're in the beginning, and you have an opportunity to be one of the people who really pioneers this company and who benefits from all of the growth that comes later. And anyways, we're in exciting times right now, and going back to our roots and reminding ourselves why we launched ACTIVZ, and each of you going back and reminding yourselves why you joined ACTIVZ. It's an important exercise that we should all go through, because sometimes it's easy to lose sight of that and to forget what our genesis was and why we chose to do something. And we can get distracted by things that are happening today. But when we do that, it gives us steam, right? And it will give us that second wind to keep pushing forward. And that second wind, David, again, it goes without saying, it's really kicking in right now, because right now we are having a historic month. I mean, the other day I logged in and we looked at the sales report comparing us to the previous month, and we were up 40% over that same date of what was already a historic month for us. And why that's significant to everybody watching this is there's something called momentum. And if you've not ever worked in the direct selling industry before, it might be, who cares about momentum? Well, here's why it matters. Momentum is when the growth just starts, you're doubling your size every 4 months, right? Every 4 or 5 months. And eventually you hit critical mass. So the demand is going to exceed your ability to even supply the product. But that's the time when people can go from $0 to $100,000 in a month, from $0 to $1 million a month in a matter of months, or to multiple millions of dollars a month. And that's when you hear the real life-changing stories happen. Probably the highlight for me, David, this last month of April was getting contacted from all of these distributors who had the previous month hit a 15, a 14, a 13. We had a bunch of new A12s. And on the 15th of last month, it was so gratifying to get messages from people saying, oh my goodness, thank you so much. And I had to say, thank yourself, thank your team, right? We simply laid the track, but you guys are the runners. You're running on this track. But that was really the highlight for me last month, David, was one family in particular where the dad hit A15, and he's got an A12 position, an A11, an A9 position. His wife has an A10 position and an A8 position, and I think another A8 position. And then their brothers all have positions. And as a family, they are earning life-changing income, and they don't have a network marketing background. And it took them 6 months to first transact his first $100,000 a month. And why that matters to you and why that's sort of a standout story for me is because that tells me if that family can do it, so can you. Anybody can do this. But you've got to have that desire and that commitment, that belief to just go get it done. So anyways, those were kind of my standout moments for April. Obviously, our incentive trip, David, like you talked about in Cancun, was incredible. It's always great to spend time with people and their families, and just have a front seat, be front and center in the changes that occur in people's lives. And there's nothing that does that more than by sitting on a beach with people and having them tell you about what their life was like before joining ACTIVZ and before throwing all in on that. So that was also a big highlight for me and my family. It's just a lot of fun to be down there with all those great distributors. Obviously we have things coming up, and you teased one of those things, but this next month and the coming months, what should people be excited about, David? Like what excites you as you look forward?
Well, one of the things that doesn't really get the attention and the credit it deserves, in my opinion, is our Immoraline. Our Immoraline, in terms of its science and benefits, is not one bit behind Genomics, Link, or Optimid. I mean, the science is real and it's strong and it's deep. But I will say that there have been times in the past where people have said, I love the Immora products, but I just wish that there were a couple of additions to the line. Well, without spilling the beans, we're going to talk about in a few weeks what some additions might be. And so stay tuned. That's going to be pretty exciting. And I can tell you that we've managed to maintain that level, even in ways that, I mean, this is actually amazing. I don't want to get ahead of myself, but the science in what some people at first blush might think are just kind of, oh, all right, well, we've heard of those type of things. Oh, you haven't heard of this stuff. I'm telling you what, you have not heard of the ingredients that take what might be otherwise considered everyday, heard of those type of products before, and they're just gonna be blown away. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited about there's other science going on. There's a team of Mexican scientists from a prestigious university that have flown into the United States to Iowa State University to work on a study for us on our products. And they're in a lab. And I was on a conference call with some, and they're also collaborating with scientists from Arizona State University, New Mexico State University. I mean, but the Iowa State University scientists whose lab that they are borrowing said, wait a minute, this is cool. What you guys are studying is really neat. In fact, if you will let us in and observe what you're doing and kind of be able to peer over your shoulder, we're not even going to charge you for using the lab. That was awesome. I just found that out today because they are so excited about the research. And when people find out the results of that research, they're going to be excited too. So there's a lot of exciting things going on. Just kind of a conclusion, you got me thinking about Michael Jordan. We're going to be, you might say, well, what does that have to, what if anything I say reminds you of Michael Jordan? Because what's going to happen is in the next few months, before the end of this year, Michael Jordan or a Michael Jordan-esque person is going to appear at ACTIVZ. And here's what I mean by it. Not a celebrity that we're going to pay to endorse our products or anything like that. But if you haven't gone to see the new movie Air, or if you've not read the unauthorized biography of Nike called Swoosh, let me just, in a nutshell, tell you what happened. Michael Jordan was a very good college basketball player in the 80s, but he wasn't considered the #1 player. He wasn't drafted the #1 player. He came out after his junior year of college, which was very unusual back then. But everybody knew he had a flair. He had an athleticism. He had just a magnetism about him that was going to draw. So he had companies that wanted him to sponsor him. The shoe companies back then were Converse, which I'm not even sure if they're at Converse around anymore. Adidas was the big one out there. And then there was this little company that had started life known as Blue Ribbon Sports. and their founder had been a member of the Oregon track team, and they were making track shoes and trying to sell them out of the trunks of their cars at track meets and things like that. Sounds a little bit like network marketing, to tell the truth, and create a following. Well, their founder said, Blue Ribbon Sports just isn't quite cutting it. We need to have a more compelling name. And they changed it to Nike, okay? And Nike made an offer for Michael Jordan. And Michael Jordan's like, I don't want this. I'm going to go with Adidas. And Nike said, we're going to give you your own shoe brand. And you're going to do this. And Michael's mother forced him. The only reason Michael took that meeting, because his mother forced him to go. Okay. Wow. Speaking of Mother's Day.
Never heard
and
that.
He listened. And so because of that, it totally transformed the fortunes of Nike. It totally transformed the fortunes of Michael Jordan. Now, don't get me wrong. He was going to do well either way, but not the way he's done well now, because he's had Air Jordans named after him. And so this is my prediction. This is my crystal ball gazing prediction, that there's going to be someone arrive who's going to say, this is my opportunity. I'm going to be part of taking this little company. Well, we're not that little. We're actually right now we're much bigger than Blue Ribbon Sports was at the time that Michael Jordan joined them. And so, but I'm going to be part of this, and I'm going to be part of this. I want my fingerprints on this. I want to make a legacy out of this, and I'm going to run. I'm going to take the talents. I may not have been a superstar in everything that I've done, and neither was Michael Jordan necessarily. He didn't, he makes a big deal out of not making the varsity team when he was a sophomore and getting cut from the varsity team, and how that fueled him later on. And so if any of you out there have thought, I want to make it big, I just need the vehicle to do it. Michael Jordan needed Nike, you need ACTIVZ. And we're the vehicle to change the fortunes of you and your company. And I predict that not only are we going to get one Michael Jordan, we're going to get any number of Michael Jordans who are going to come, and that's going to transform the look, feel, and size certainly of ACTIVZ, but it's not going to change the basic foundation and underpinnings of who we are and why we're here. That's never going to change as long as you and I are here, Ryan, and that's what I'm excited about.
Absolutely. So. Well, I'll be honest, you had me guessing, and I was trying to figure out how I made you think of Michael Jordan, but I agree with you. I think that you're right. I think that a Jordan-esque person is going to join us or is already here with us, right? And it's about developing into the person who we're meant to be, really, and using this as a vehicle to do that. So I completely agree with you. Wow, that's exciting. I hope everyone, you guys all caught what David said, about our Immora skincare line. And I wanted to second, David, what you just said, because when I think about the ingredients okay, so they are products, right, that we're coming out with that are going to be great additions to Immora. I bet nobody on here, maybe one or two, have heard of the ingredients, but very few, and really remarkable. And just from a story standpoint, you're going to love what they do. You're going to love what they do. So I'm excited. I don't want to spill the beans either, though. Well, what I'm excited about coming down around the corner, it is we have a big event that's going to be taking place next month, the 17th of June in Mexico City. And we are going to be speaking Spanish there, but I don't want to not invite you. You are all invited to come. We're not going to be providing translation into English. But guess what? They have these great apps and headphones that now you can actually listen to a language, and it will provide a live translation for you. So if you want to go, I would consider doing that if you don't speak Spanish. But you are certainly invited and certainly encouraged. And I want to encourage all of you. David, you talked about Momentum Escape last month. Not last month. This month, the beginning of the month, we launched our next Momentum Escape trip. And this, we have here in a week or so, people are going to be going on the Momentum Escape trip, those who qualified for the last 90 days. And they're going to be going to New York and Las Vegas. And many people are going to be going to the Hilton in Puerto Vallarta. We're kind of leaving that up to you. But help your team do that. Just anecdotally, I've spoken with several leaders who they qualified for it by themselves the first time. Were there, David, I know that you've heard this also from different leaders. And what they did the entire time, this was 2 quarters ago, They said, where is my team? I need to be here with other people next time. And this time around, here in just another week or so, they've qualified again for this current Momentum Escape trip, but they're going with 4 or 5 or 6 other families off from their team. And that's really exciting to know that they're going to go and spend some time, spend a great weekend that we're going to pay for to go sit on some beaches or hang out in Las Vegas. So I'm envious. That sounds like a lot of fun. But right now, guys, we're still in the first month of our third Momentum Escape. So make sure that you're really digging in and helping encourage everyone on your team, especially the new people, to qualify, because very few things can convince us that this is real and that the business works than by qualifying for a trip, right, where the company pays for it. And this is within your reach, right? Just find 5 business partners, help them find 1 business partner. Of course, there's the right pack, there's autoships, but that's essentially what it is. Help those people hit the rank of A4, and you'll be off to the races. And you should be able to visualize your A16. And then maybe the last thing that I want to share is at the event, David, in June, I don't want to give away too much, but we did talk about our big incentive trip that we just went on in Cancun, and we're going to be, drum roll, no, I'm not going to announce what it is, but we will be announcing it at that event in June. So please be on high alert to hear what it is, to pay attention, because we want all of you guys to qualify. These trips are life-changing events because you prove to yourself that you can achieve something great, right? And you spend a week, right, with your husband or wife or significant other on the company's dime in a place that many of us wouldn't go to if it weren't something that the company was paying for. So I can't encourage you more, or can't express it more than how important it is to do that. So we believe in you. I mean, David, fundamental to our business is belief, right? You got to believe in things that aren't proven yet, right? We got to believe in possibilities and potential. And our ability to get to where we are today as ACTIVZ, it's a function of belief. It's a result of not just us believing, but sharing it with someone else who believed, who shared it with someone else who believed, who shared it with someone else who believed. And now we have an army of people who believe that not only is the company going to grow, but that they're going to achieve. And the more we believe, the more we're going to grow. So that's why I say we believe in you, because we really do. We know that you can achieve. We know that you can go far with us. So let's have a banner month. Let's have another historic month. And I want you to have a historic month in your own business. And I want you to know that we believe in you and we bet on you every single day. It's not just David and I, but the whole company believes in you. We believe in each other. I know that I have the best partners out there. David is the best partner. There's no better partner than David Brown. So I am really the luckiest guy in the world, I think, to have a company.
Ryan Thompson. Ryan Thompson is actually
well, to have a company, to have a partner like David, but I would extend that also to our corporate team. And I'm not going to list everyone by name, but behind every great company, an army of distributors who are achieving, you have a corporate team who believes in the distributors, but they also believe in each other. And it's important for you all to know that we've got each other's back and we're committed to each other and to everyone's success. David, final words from you.
Well, there's not more to add. I guess since I talk so much about Nike, I might as well just borrow their tagline and just say, just do it. Let's go out and do it together. Right. And maybe I'll just add that last word. Just do it together. And if you don't quite believe yet, just have a desire to believe. Just start doing something, and you'll find that reinforcing belief comes pretty quickly as you go out and do the things that other people who have been successful have done. And it's the ultimate watch, observe, and follow type of approach. And we don't have to guarantee it. There's individuals out there, hundreds, thousands of people in the company who demonstrate it without me having to guarantee it. But I will guarantee it. Get out there, try it, and you'll see what we're talking about. So have a great month, everybody. It's great to be with you, and look forward to seeing you all again in person.
Great. All right. Thank you. Take care, everybody. We'll talk to you same time, same place next month, and we'll see you soon. And we'll see you all at the top. Thank you, David. Take care, everybody.